What if the secret to growing your business wasn't about doing more, but about doing things differently? From rethinking how we find our audience to redefining how we sell to them, today's episode is packed with insights to help you grow in ways that feel authentic and effective. In this episode of the Business Breakout, I am joined by two powerhouse speakers. One is helping businesses harness the power and the potential of Pinterest beyond its stereotypes, and the other is flipping the script on sales by putting heart and purpose first. All this and more coming up next on the Business Breakout.
Just like a takeout. Show me you got soul inside those new shoes, and you can rock and roll with an attitude. So good, so fresh, just the way you like
it. Let's face it, you know that running a business can feel very overwhelming. And when you are trying to stand out in a crowded space, but what if it didn't have to be that way? What if finding your audience and making the sale could actually feel easier? That is what today's episode is all about. It's about simplifying the process while staying true to your values. But before we get too far into it, hello there. If this is your first time here, I am Ella Glasgow, the Director of Fundability and host at Beyond Virtual Events, where I help companies and small businesses, established small businesses, create impactful virtual experiences that keep their audiences engaged from start to finish. And this just so happens to be the unconventional virtual event that I produce live inside of Zoom on the first and third Wednesday of every month. So consider this your personal invite to join us inside of Zoom for the next one, so you can see what's possible for your online events. And no matter where you're watching from, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube's, the link is right here to register. So I'm so glad that you're here today. It's going to be such a fun and incredible episode with the guests that I have for you. Our first guest today is here to change how you see Pinterest. It is so much more than crafts and recipes. And she is the founder of Simply Pintastic, and a Pinterest strategist helping purpose-centered business owners attract leads and clients using organic strategies that work without overwhelm. And she's here today to show us how to turn Pinterest into a powerful tool for growing business. That was just a lot of P's. Please welcome to the Business Breakout, Laura Rike. Laura!
Hey.
What's going on, girl?
You know.
Just out here, you know, being a part of these business streets.
Yeah, loving on it, you know.
Oh my goodness. We were just talking behind the scenes about how it's been a minute. It's been a minute since I've seen you, girl, and seen your face moving beyond a picture.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that is what 3 kids and a business will do to you.
Look, preach about it. Look, we can preach about those things all day, but we came here for a purpose today, so we're going to get to it, okay? Because we have a limited amount of time, and I know that you have a lot of things that you want to tell us. So, Pinterest strategist, I mean, for me, thinking about Pinterest, it's just another place to be and cause me frustrations when it comes to thinking about adding it as a business piece. So I know that you have sorted out that Pinterest is really a misunderstood platform that people think is just for hobbyists and a place to, you know, like pin your favorite ideas. So what is one thing that business owners need to know about its potential to attract leads and clients with Pinterest?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is going to be the fact that like you set up your business to be able to bring in leads and bring in sales. And the focus in your marketing is always going to be, how do I get those people to those magnificent things that I built, right? We look at SEO on Google, we look at YouTube, we look at like all these other things. But why are we not looking at Pinterest? Because Pinterest has a higher domain authority than your website, your landing page, your sales page is ever going to have right now. And it can rank on Google. And the people that are on Pinterest are already problem aware. So meaning they already know, they're already searching. They're looking for that product. They're looking for that service. They're looking to be sold to. They need help. And so to be able to utilize that, not just for a blog post, not just for a craft idea or a home decor idea, but to your lead magnets, to your sales pages is really where it's at on that platform.
Ma'am. I don't, y'all, did you just hear what she said about the fact that it's a higher ranking platform? That's a big deal. And the people are already problem aware. That's incredible, because the amount of time that we spend to try to have people be aware of the problem that they're having, or coax that out of them in some way, knowing that they have a problem, but they don't know it yet. That's a big deal, to know that there's a platform where people are already aware of their problem and actively searching for your solution. So with that in mind, okay, now we got another social media platform to have to try and navigate, Lord Jesus. So when many entrepreneurs and small business owners are thinking about the time commitment of managing and engaging on yet another platform, what's yes, you know where I'm going. Tell me.
Yes.
Tell me.
So hold on. I'm going to back up first, because love you dearly, not social, don't need to engage. So, oh, look at that.
Look
I got balloons going, y'all.
I love it. Okay. I love that you said that. And I love that you corrected that, because I had a feeling that that is what you would say. So that's a mindset shift. Okay. It's not a social platform. So I don't have to have another place to engage. It's just a place to simply put the stuff that my potential client needs. So with that in mind, what is one simple strategy that a business owner can use that can make an effective difference without feeling like it's overwhelming their schedule?
Yeah. So I've done this for a lot of people, where we actually did a case study taking someone who pinned 25 times a day and someone who pinned twice a day, right? More manageable for the newer people. And the same incremental shifts happened for them. So they grew a certain amount of percentage on both accounts. The real focus is, where do you want the conversions to happen? If you know that you can spend an hour a week creating a couple different titles on templates that can be pre-made for you, and then link back to where you want the conversions to happen and where you are already converting, then that shift in time is super simple. I have a trademarked phrase called pin hacking. And basically all it is you go onto the platform, you use the search bar to your advantage, you figure out what is your dream ideal person searching for. Take that, put it onto the pin that relates back to your landing page, your sales page. If your blog post has opt-ins or sales purchase items on it, back to your blog post. Your YouTube video, your podcast, whatever it is that you know you can convert from, then link to that. You can create with one template 4 different pins, 4 different titles, and then link to that same piece of content. 1 to the podcast, 1 to YouTube, 1 to the blog post, 1 to your landing page, 1 to your sales page. All of them are talking about the same thing, but now you have 5 pins. And if you do 1 pin a day, you're almost done for the entire week.
Stop it. Are y'all Are y'all picking up what she's putting down? If you are watching live or in the replay, and we've got some people here with us inside of Zoom, go ahead and put that in the chat. Let us know that you are picking up what she's putting down, because she's giving you a word today. And so perfect to have you here today with our second guest, Laura. Look, there's so much I want to ask you about and want to talk about. We're just going to have you on for another episode, because they're, woo,
Totally fine.
okay. So don't you go anywhere. Don't you go anywhere.
Nope.
Don't y'all go. Laura's going to come back. Don't you worry. She's going to come back, because this is good stuff, y'all. Today's episode is so perfect, because Laura just left us on this fabulous cliffhanger that you need to know about, because our next guest, you're not ready. First of all, she's going to challenge everything that you think you know about sales. She is the founder of the Follow-Up Boss. Do you see how perfectly you see? Okay. So, and she's on a mission to help small business owners uncover their unique sales strategies without compromising their values, with a heart-centered, people-first approach. She is redefining what it means to sell with purpose and intention. So please welcome the Follow-Up Boss, Bethany George. Bethany! How are you doing, Bethany?
Oh, I'm doing fabulous.
I mean, did Laura just leave you with a perfect segue, or what? Because when it comes to the things that people are doing in their businesses, in their work, there's so much that needs to be done with sales. And I know that you started figuring out that follow-up has been a beast for us all. So why is follow-up, that process of doing it, such a critical part of sales? And what is that one mistake that you're seeing people make when it comes to the potential of following up with their potential clients?
Well, I'm going to back up just a little bit,
Back it
kind of
up.
like Laura did,
Tell us.
because I see so often within business owners that they misunderstand the distinction between marketing and sales. And without that distinction, you're going to be stumbling around. Most individual business owners in particular will say to some level they hate sales. They cringe, it holds them back, because they view sales as what's that story in your head, that used car salesman, the kiosk owner at the mall, the door-to-door salesperson that always knocks on your door in the middle of a Zoom meeting? Who is that person that you don't want to be? And that person comes to mind every time you think about what it means to sell. Firstly, get rid of that. That isn't what you're doing. Secondly, understand the distinction that marketing allows you, like what Laura was saying, which, yes, perfect segue. Laura was talking about a marketing method to reach your audience. But once they come to you, and it depends on your product or service, everyone's sales cycle is longer or shorter, depending on what it is. And you need to know what yours is. But there's a point when you'll have potentially an individual conversation with that person. That is a sales conversation, however you want to look at it. And that's where people get lost. If someone comes to you and says, I love what you do. How do I get involved? What does it look like? What's the cost? All those things. You might have a conversation in that moment, and maybe they're not ready for whatever reason. They don't fully understand it. They don't have the finances for it. It's not a high priority. Now what? Most people drop that person into a bucket and they disappear forever until they manage to resurface. But you, as a business owner, it is your job to stay in touch, to build that relationship, to show them what it's like to work with you. Especially if you have what I call a high touch business. Ella, Laura, and I, all three, have a high touch business. We do a lot individually with our clients. we have to show that to them from the very beginning.
Yeah, exactly. Y'all out here just dropping truth bombs and all the things today, because it's so true that I don't even know where to begin, because when it comes to this follow-up stuff, you're right. People get mixed up in the sauce of what piece needs to be where and when, because there are definitely many facets to the whole sales cycle, as it were. So when we're considering all of that and knowing that everybody has different needs depending on the services and things that they're providing, one of the things that I know that you talk about is people's unique sales strategy for what it is they're doing with their business. So how do you help them find that? How can following up consistently really help somebody discover their own rhythm, as it were?
Yeah. Well, the first thing is to let go of all of these assumptions that I have to do it this way in order to be a professional, and if I do it differently, people are going to judge me for it. And I can give the direct example. Here I am sitting with all my gorgeous purple and my colored hair, and I really try to demonstrate breaking out of the mold of what quote unquote professionalism looks like. Because when you send a follow-up email that says, "Hi, so and so, I know that I sent your proposal last week, just checking in to see if you have any questions."
Wait, but Bethany, but everybody wants to just check in, because I mean, we really want to know what's going on. So how do we change that? Because I don't know how many emails I have from, especially from cold outreach people, that are just checking in, just want to make sure that you got. I didn't. I know cold emailing and cold contacting is a necessary evil in some businesses. So what are some other ways that we can just check in?
I have actually really uncovered the joy of cold outreach. Now, cold outreach is its own space, and the follow-up in that space is different, very different than follow-up to having sent a proposal. Real quick, in the proposal space, if you sent someone an email or sent them a proposal and you're waiting for a response, don't check in. Don't follow up. Stop that. Think where they are in their brain. What is holding them back? Is it the finances? Are they unsure of what they're going to get? Are they trying to figure out the timing? Answer those questions one at a time and drip on them, because they're asking those questions and they're not willing to ask you yet. So do that.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh,
Outreach.
look.
You want to dig into that one?
Yeah, because look, and I hear Laura saying, because hold on. Let me just let Laura get in on this, because I mean, when we're thinking about this, like Laura, now, you are basically the pieces of the funnel. You're here at the beginning talking with people about how they actually get those leads to come on in. And Bethany's here at not the end of the process, it's really the middle of the process. We're not even talking about closing. And I think people forget that there's a middle piece to all of this. So Laura, what are your thoughts right now with what were you about over there?
Full transparency, I do the check-in email. I do the check-in email. I do
we're not gonna.
I send them a proposal.
We're not judging you. We're not judging you.
Oh my gosh, I send them a proposal, and then like 3 days later, I send them some testimonials and some other, and that's fine. Like whatever, that's not my check-in. It's just like, hey, here are some accounts I've worked on. Blah blah blah. Right. The third email I send is just checking in. And it's like, hey, I know you were interested. Please advise. Like really dumb, stupid basics. So Bethany, help me.
Help us, Bethany. Help us.
Absolutely. Well, something that's really important to remember before somebody becomes a client or a customer, however you define them, they don't necessarily owe you a response. And we forget that. And so we want to know, so are we moving forward? What's happening? And they're sitting back there thinking something, and we want to know what it is. But if they're being held back by something, they're usually not willing to tell us because they're expecting to be handled. Objection handling, anybody?
Mm,
And that's one of the reasons why people don't respond. And I'll give you a quick example. Years ago, was working with a online e-commerce store, and we needed a new website. I reached out to a website designer friend of mine. She, we talked with her. She told us what it would cost, how long it would take. She sent us a proposal, and we sat on it for 6 months. Why? We didn't have the finances to take the jump yet. And we didn't know what we didn't know until we had that conversation. And that's oftentimes the case, is that people are in research mode. When we send a proposal, we think they're in action mode. They're not yet. Sometimes. Sometimes they are. But if they're in research mode, they need to have that information. And now they're going to sit on it for a little while because they're trying to get the money together. Maybe they still have unanswered questions, whatever it may be. And so if they go quiet, it's because they're in that mode. And we get to respect that and say, okay, if there's a true time frame, like you have a slot, an opening for a client, and they get to take it or not, then you get to say that in an email. I know we talked, you seemed really interested. I'm so excited to work with you. This is not to pressure you, but I do want you to be aware I have one opening and I can only hold it for so long. So if you want that space, amazing, come grab it by this time. If you can't do it for right now, I will stay in touch. When you are ready, I am here. You basically are allowing them to non-verbally say, no thanks. And that is sometimes the greatest power we can give a prospect, because it shows we respect their boundaries. And sometimes that is the best thing we can do to get them to say yes.
Wow. Look, y'all.
Thank Laura.
Okay. Look, do y'all hear the goodness that is here on this show today? I mean, sometimes I'm annoyed with my own needing things to be short and sweet, because I know that there are deeper things that we all want to get into, especially when we're having topics like this. But I also want to respect all of you all's time, both my guests and the others of you. So if you're wanting to follow up with either of the guests that we have on the show today, just know that their information is going to be in the end credits. So you definitely have a way to reach them. So before I let them both go, I have a final question for the both of you. Okay, are you ready? Laura, you're going to be answering first. So both of you focus on helping businesses to really connect in impactful ways at different parts of the sales cycle. So for someone who's watching, who wants to stand out and make those real connections, what is one actionable step that they can take today to start seeing a difference? Laura, you're going to answer first.
ooh, okay. So for me, it's going in and just pinning, right? You don't have to have the pretty background. You don't have to have the perfectly designed pin. You don't have to have the perfectly designed landing page, but to get it out there, done and not perfect, and start making sure that that pin is what I like to call myself as the catalyst for the ripple effect.
Okay, ripple effect. Y'all got that? Catalyst for the ripple effect. And I'm hearing just start. Okay?
Just start.
Just
pin.
start. Just start. All right, Bethany, what about you? What's that one actionable step that they can start taking today?
The next time your brain says, I wonder about fill in the blank name, somebody that maybe went cold, went silent, you would wondering what they're up to, wondering if they're still interested, and you want to send that email or that LinkedIn message or whatever it may be, instead of, I'm just following up, I'm just checking in, think about that individual person. Think about something in that specific conversation you had and ask a very personalized question And it could be something as simple as, how is your kiddo doing? I knew last time we talked, they were sick or had a game or whatever. It shows that you know them and you're listening. And add your personality. I'm fun, I'm quirky, I'm silly. I love to add that in. Maybe you're a little snarky. If that's a part of your personality, add it in there. If you are very, outgoing, whatever, add you and add it and make it personal. And it will make every email worth reading.
Come on, somebody. Did y'all pick up what they put down? Ladies, thank you. Thank you both for being here today. I'm really appreciating having the two of you here today. And like I said, for all of you watching, whether you're watching in the replay or you're here inside of Zoom with us or you are watching live, thank you for being in here today, because look, this was an incredible conversation with both Laura and Bethany, sharing game-changing insights on how to grow your business by focusing on connection, on strategy, on your personality and authenticity. From leveraging Pinterest as a powerful search tool to redefining how we approach sales, it is clear that growth doesn't have to mean burnout. It's about working smarter and staying true to your values. So I hope that you're leaving with some really awesome ideas that you can put into action right away, whether it's taking that first step to show up for your audience or refining how you follow up to close the deal and just ask real, genuine questions instead of just checking in. All of those things, being authentic and making things impactful, that's what we're about at Beyond Virtual Events, helping you to create virtual experiences that not only engage, but leave a lasting impact, whether it's a webinar, a live stream, or a full-scale event. We help you turn your ideas into something that is unforgettable. And if you're ready to take your events to the next level, then just remember that you can come and join me live inside of Zoom for the next episode of the Business Breakout. We're on here on the first and third Wednesday of every month, where you will have the opportunity to ask me questions after the show and our guests as well. So that's a little private moment for you. It's for an ask what's possible and see what's possible for your events. The space is limited for the seating inside of Zoom, so grab your spot and let's explore the possibilities together. And until next time, remember, every connection you make can be the start of something that can go far beyond.